Hello, everyone. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. If you're looking for undervalued investment opportunities, click subscribe. Join our community. Join me in this commodity bull ride higher. I'm going over uranium. Uranium technical analysis. It's one of my favorite sectors. Why is it one of my favorite sectors? It is the most undervalued sector of all the commodities, in my opinion. It produces carbon emissions-free power. It's base load power to produce electricity. Electricity demand, I think, will be increasing in the future for a variety of reasons, mainly because of electric vehicles. But uranium, I think, is one of the very good spots to be for the long haul. So let's look at the charts. Let's see what we got. And you know what? I bought a little bit of uranium today. So let's do some tech charting. Let's do this, charting out one of my favorite sectors. Also, this is only financial education only. It is not advice. You guys are going to have to do your own due diligence and make your own financial decisions. So let's first start off with how many pounds of uranium can 1 ounce of gold buy? It is over 60 pounds to 1 ounce gold. And what do you notice here from all the way back to 1970? It's never been this cheap. Uranium has never been this cheap in relationship to gold. That is your opportunity. That is saying that the money is not in uranium yet, but the money is flooding into uranium. You can see the prices go up. Their earnings have not gone up. I am looking for money flows. The money flows are coming into uranium and buying it and pushing it higher because they see the same opportunity that I do and that most people are seeing. People are waking up to this opportunity that's sitting right in front of you on the screen. And they may not know it as a ratio, but they know it's cheap. Here's the market balance model for uranium. Supply-demand balance. The year, we've got 0 pounds here. Deficits push prices higher. Prices go higher. And then they go down with surpluses. And then we've got a massive deficit coming ahead of us. Higher prices are expected. And since we're below the cost curves, they are required. So in this, it says updated model, same conclusion. The price must go higher. It must go higher. Not, well, maybe it will. No, it has to. Otherwise, people aren't going to get the uranium they want. We need to turn on the mines, and in order to turn on the mines, you have to have a higher price. So here's URNM. This is an ETF. We've got a little pattern here. We broke it to the upside. Looking good. Oh, and the volume looks fantastic down here. People are definitely flowing money into URNM and uranium in general. CCJ, we're trying to break out of this little pattern we've got going on. Sometimes they break to the downside of these like increasing wedge patterns, but I think we're going to break to the upside. All the momentum's to the upside. Here's Encore Energy. I don't know if it ended here, but we're kind of going in this little pattern here. We're creating these big patterns, so we'll see if they break to the upside. Sometimes increasing wedges like this like to break to the downside. But with the valuations where it's at, with where uranium, the price of uranium where it's at, I'm expecting a break to the upside. Because they don't all hold this kind of increasing wedge like CCJ and Encore Energy. Deep yellow, we've got this basically a cup and handle pattern developing. When we break this to the upside, I think it's going to do fantastic things. Laramide, so we've got this wedge going up. We broke it to the downside. Is this a back test and then we're kind of going to go sideways or lower? Perhaps. Or maybe we break back up in here and we start moving on higher. It's one to watch, one to see. I still like it. I'm not doing anything. I do own Laramide. But it did break to the downside. And sometimes you can have a false breakout to the downside to fake everyone out. We've got a bullish piercing here, which usually means you want to go higher. I think we're going to we'll see where this thing goes over the next couple of days, week. that broke to the upside. Clear break, looking fantastic. No questions there. UEC's breaking to the upside. Looking good. Good volume down here. Here's URG. Again, this one broke to the upside. I draw it right in here, broke up, played with it a little bit, came back, and I think we're going to break through here, kind of this little area. So that one looks good. Uranium Royalty Corp, I drew in the trend line. It broke to the downside. Does this thing have more downside, or are all the buying and money flows coming in and going to push this higher? This, to me, by looking at the chart, I think we're going to have another bounce lower, just by looking at the chart. There's a big but here. But a lot of the companies in the sector and money flows are flowing into this. Look at the volume at the bottom here. There's a lot of people buying this stuff. Money's flowing in. We're seeing other parts of the sector be very strong. So this is a difficult one to read. And what I would do is I'm just going to wait on it. I don't own too much of it. So I'm waiting on it. We'll see if this thing falls. Here's Fission Uranium. This guy's developing a pattern as well. It's coiling on up. I'd like to see it break to the upside. We've got some volume here. Buying it today. We'll see which way it breaks. Next Gen Energy broke to the upside. That one's looking great. Bannerman broke to the upside of its pattern back here, and it's been just kind of doing this big move up, small pullback, big move up, small pullback. I think it's going to continue this kind of slow upward grind. Forum Energy Metals, you can see it broke its trend line or resistance line, broke to the upside, back tested, and I think we're going to move on higher here shortly. Forces Metals bouncing off of its support line, upward trend line, came down, touched it. Now we're moving on up. Baseload broke its downtrend line to the upside, and I think this is a good one to maybe hop onto if you like it. So baseload's looking good. Standard Uranium still coiling up. It's right there. It's putting in work. Is this thing going to break to the upside? I think so. Centrus Energy Corp. I know some people wanted me to chart this one. It's been going sideways, sideways, sideways. We've got a bullish engulfing right here. I think this looks, we've got a bearish engulfing here and a bullish engulfing here. That's interesting. It's like the buyers and the sellers are at this stalemate, moving sideways through here. I think eventually it's going to move higher. Draw a line through here, and it's getting close to something. We'll see. Give it a couple more days. I think it's going to go up with the rest of the group. GoBX broke its downtrend here. Nice big volume and day up. And we're kind of just moving sideways. It could move down a little bit. We'll see. But I think path of least resistance is higher because we broke this downtrend here. And now we're just kind of floating sideways before moving higher. Hopefully that's the case. Global Atomic, that's just been kind of in a nice uptrend. Not really much to say there. Canalaska is on its uptrend line, providing support, and it's just squeezing up on that line right there. We'll see what it does. Pierpoint Uranium, a Canadian exploration company, moving on up. Not really much to say here. I mean, we moved up great right here, pulled back, and we're kind of just grinding sideways, but I think it's going to grind sideways to higher. Here's Sky Harbor, broke its little pattern here. Big move up, small pullback, and we're still moving on the uptrend. Here's Appia Energy. This thing's looking fantastic. Broke its little pattern right here to the upside. I think this could run. It could run and be a fun one. And the one I purchased a little bit more in is Blue Sky Uranium, just because I like the chart so much. Big old pattern coming down. All this sell-off. We've got the downtrend line. We got this pattern that's squeezed up all through here. You could even draw it from down here, depending on how you draw it. Broke out, pulled back again, came on up. This is the new uptrend here. So what happens is we break the downtrend line. We broke it right here. You pull back. We've got a low, a higher low, which is another bottom almost. We came up and broke this high right here. We broke the high. We're in a new uptrend, and we're back testing this high right here. I bought it right off the back test. Look at the volume. The volume is stepping way up and buying and accumulating this stock. Zoom in, this is what it looks like zoomed in. This was the higher low down here, came up, broke through this line to create a higher high, came on back to do this little back test. We are contracting in the candlesticks. We've got the downtrend line, and we just kind of broke it right here. So I think that today, hopefully, is the beginning of a little uptrend move. Bouncing off that support. We've got support right under it. We're kind of breaking this downtrend line right here. We've got some strength. We've got a hammer here. We've got the nice contraction dead period, and then we're coming on up. So today I put a little bit in. I bought the BKUCF one, not this one, but this is what I can chart, and I think it looks pretty good. So I added a little bit, and I'm going to add a little bit more in this sector to these ones that are kind of pulling back a little bit, so I can get a good spread, right? Spread it out, ride this thing. The volume is buying everything in uranium, it looks like. All these charts have lots of elevated volume after they broke their big downtrend lines or just before it and after it. So I think they all look really good. This is the sector that I'm accumulating. It's probably, I'm accumulating. This is where I'm focusing my efforts right now. Accumulating uranium companies that are down. I'm getting some more explorers. I'm getting whatever's down and kind of lagging the group. Some of the leaders like Encore Energy, I'm not adding as much. I'm definitely not. I haven't added any to that in a little while. But I've been buying the laggards. Deep Yellow, Goviax, Laramide, I bought some. Blue Sky, I'm going to just keep kind of cost averaging in, getting my shares on these ones that are still low, kind of they're back testing, they're retesting, back testing, however you want to say it. And they're breaking their little downtrend lines, like that one right there. I just sprinkled some in. I think I got it for 17.5 cents. BKUCF is what I got. So that's one that I purchased here recently for my portfolio. And these all look fantastic. There's a couple that might have broke to the downside, like Laramide broke a little bit to the downside. Let's monitor it. Let's see if it breaks, comes back up. The majority of this sector looks like it's all going higher. So I don't see a reason why that would go down. Uranium Royalty Corp, that one's had a massive run. I think it wants to kind of pull back. People are taking profit because, it's had a pretty big run. So if it pulls back quite a bit, maybe I'll be enticed to add some in. But overall, sector looks fantastic. If you guys like this content, give me a thumbs up. Thanks for listening. This is Finding Value.